Good morning and welcome to Dittmer Knittery. My name is Bev, and you can find a little bit more about me and how to contact me in the description box below. And anything I mentioned during the podcast, links or other information that I say that I'll share with you, you'll find that in the description box below. It is very, very early on Saturday morning. I woke up about 2:30 and I wasn't able to go back to sleep. That's unusual for me, but sometimes it happens. I did go to bed very early, like probably by 8:30. That's very early to go to bed. I read for quite a while. I probably didn't go to sleep till almost 10, but still I woke up at 2:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I got up and I thought, I've been wanting to make time to make a video, so let's make a video. So here I am. It's almost 5 o'clock now. I've been up for a little while. I had some tea, which really was just hot water with honey in it. I didn't want to start drinking coffee too early, but I'll make some coffee here pretty shortly. But I thought I'd spend a little bit of time with you. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to all my returning viewers. Hello, friends. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for your lovely comments. Thank you for watching. To new viewers, really appreciate you joining us today. I have just a few things. So on the last video, I showed myself doing some work on the knitting machine, making a hat. I'll talk about that. And on the video before that, I was at a craft show and I said that I would show some things that I purchased that day, some ceramics and some other things I purchased that day. So I have that for you too. The main thing I want to talk about today is that I have done an update to my Etsy shop. And usually I don't do any kind of major updates. I add things now and then, and Etsy is kind of just a place for people to be able to see my things. I don't do a lot of sales there. But like I said, it's a really useful tool for me to be able to take photographs of my things and have a place to post them where people can see a lot of my merchandise. I think I have over, I was going to say 40 items, but I think almost 40 items on my Etsy shop. And I have done a pretty major update where I had only about 20 items. I've added about 20 items. And I took some photographs yesterday and the day before, and you know, I do my best. I'm not a professional photographer, but I think they turned out pretty good with the help of my phone and some natural lighting. And I'll show you a few of those. I'll show you a few of the things that I have listed in my Etsy shop. So maybe you'll see something that interests you and you'll go and take a look at my Etsy shop. If you do see something, please, that you like and you're interested, I hope you will, please contact me. So that's the major thing I wanted to talk about, and I will show you a few of the things that I have for sale in my Etsy shop. I chose some older things and some newer things, some things that I made in the past and some things I made recently to show you, and I hope you'll enjoy seeing them. Now, I said I would talk about the hat that I was making on the machine. And here it is. I hope that I will felt it today. It's all knitted. And this is the seam. So because I knit it flat on the machine, I did have to seam it. I seam it with a mattress stitch, and the seam is all but invisible. So that's the decreases up there. This is the decrease. And then this is the seam. And really the only place you see the seam is where it kind of changes in the stripe right there. But there's the seam on the inside. You can see there is a seam there. But it's all but invisible on the outside. It's just that small area that I have to seam once I take it off the machine. And then on the machine, I do begin the decreases. And I showed you the picture of it on the machine, and you could see the little gap there where I made the decreases, and then I take it off the machine and I finish the decreases by hand. And yes, you can see the decreases, but they're nice and even. And you won't see any gaps in the yarn after it's felted. And in fact, even if you made a hat like this and you weren't going to felt it, it's still just fine. Looks just fine, I think. I'm quite happy with the results, and it will be a nice felted hat. And this is for a friend. She asked for it. She's going to give it as a gift to her aunt. And then for that same friend, I made a hat for her. Very plain. This is, I had talked about this yarn when I showed it to you before. And now I can't remember what it is. I apologize. I don't remember what this yarn is. Hearthstone, Plymouth Hearthstone. That's what this is. A Plymouth yarn. Hearthstone in burgundy and rosé. I remembered. And this is Lamb's Pride. Brown sheep wool. And again, this is a very simple plain hat. I did most of it on the machine. I even did a few of the decrease rounds on the machine and rows. And then I took it off the machine. I seamed it. I'm looking for the seam. I seamed it. That seam is a little bit more noticeable. I seamed it and I did the decreases and closed the top. And now I'm going to hot water felt it. So 2 hats on the machine. Pretty pleased with the results of those. So I showed you that I went to a crafts festival, arts and crafts festival, a couple of weeks ago. And I showed you some video while I was there. And then I said, while I was on my way there, I stopped and bought some ceramics. So I have a little clip of that to show you. But first, let me show you some other things that I bought that same day, and then I'll show you the clip. I got this beautiful plate with the reindeer on it. And this is an artist that I've purchased from before. In fact, I have a plate very much like this. A plate or a dish. I actually keep things like stitch markers and needles and little things like that in it, right next to my chair where I work. Has little tiny reindeer on it. This local artist is Jennifer Sutton. And I have, like I said, purchased from her before. I have this is a beautiful, very subtle green. And I have one like this that's kind of gold. In fact, it's like this color. This is a little Christmas ornament that Jennifer made. Jennifer Sutton, again, is the artist. Isn't that just adorable? Oh my gosh. Isn't that beautiful? So classic, striking, fresh, original, all that. And little sweaters. Isn't that adorable? And then, of course, she does little trees, and I always love trees. Always need to get the trees. And you can tell that this is a favorite motif of mine, the deer in the trees. She, of course, does other designs, but I'm quite focused on the deer in the trees. I am not much of a decorator at all. And in a new place, it takes me a long time to settle in. So it's been a little over a year, and I've added just a few personal touches to my home. This is my fireplace mantle. This is a large clock that's been in my family for a long time. It's a Seth Thomas clock, I want to say, maybe from the 1850s. Like I said, it's been in my family for a long time. A treasured possession. And then I have right next to it, I have decided to place this fairy door that I got when I was shopping a couple of weekends ago. I went to a ceramic sale, and this is one of the treasures that I purchased, is this fairy door. And you can see next to it this little painting with the trees. That's a painting I've talked about before. But right now, let's look at this fairy door. This is a piece by Melissa Wright, here, local artist. And I don't want to move it because I have decided to place it here. And this is, you know, next to this old clock and on the fireplace, I thought was a good place to place a fairy door. It's the first time I've had anything like that, and I was just so struck by its beauty, I decided to get it. And then, so I placed it next to this scene with the moon and the trees. There's a little house there. That's a little ceramic house, also by Melissa Wright. The painting is by Laney. And then there's also a tiny crystal yogi there under the tree. So I like small things. I like just creating these tiny scenes in the corners, and that brings me some joy. And then there's my TV. Move over here to the other end of the fireplace mantle, and I have another tiny scene. This is a beautiful globe that my friend Christy gave me. There's a painting by Manami Lingerfelt. And then two more little tiny ceramic houses by Melissa Wright. And all these names that I've mentioned are local artists, and I will link them. And of course, they're available for local gift giving, and I wouldn't be surprised if they would ship. And this again is, the painting is by Manami Lingerfelt. The ceramics are by Melissa Wright. And I showed you a painting by Laney. I don't have much notes here, but let me take a look and see if I've forgotten anything. My computer probably has even tried to shut down on me. I have another small project I've been working on, just kind of to keep my hands busy in the evening, believe it or not. A friend called one Sunday afternoon, texted one Sunday afternoon, and asked if she could bring some yarn over and show it to me. And I thought she wanted me to teach her how to crochet or knit. And I knew that she knew how to crochet or knit, but I thought she wanted me to get her started on a project, maybe help her pick out a pattern or something. But she, in fact, left the yarn with me and said, oh, just make me something. This very random assortment of yarn, and she wanted a lightweight throw, maybe to cover her feet. She just wanted something from the yarn. So I've been making something from the yarn, a small throw, which she had these pinks and purples, beautiful colors. I especially like this. It's almost ribbon-like yarn. It's very fun to work with. So I started with this pink, and this is just a simple lace pattern. I think it's called Tulip Lace, out of my Vogue knitting book. And then this kind of ribbony yarn, and then again another smooth yarn in the dark purple. And then I have this one that I think I'm going to do next, a rather textured salmon colored yarn. And then I'm probably going to put a border on it, maybe to help it make it a little bit bigger, probably a wide border. I might crochet a border on this knitted blanket. I haven't decided, because she made it pretty clear that she just wanted me to knit something up for her. And like I said, it's been a real pleasure just to knit, to keep my hands busy in the evening. It's been a nice thing to do. And it's really lovely to chat with you this morning. I have made a few clips for you again. I took some videos around my house and of a project, so I'll insert those somewhere here too. Another work by artist Laney. This is a t-shirt, and he does these blind contour cats, where he's drawn enough cats that he kind of does the outlines without even looking, and then he fills in the details. And I loved this because I always like it when he does more than one cat, because you can see how they're kind of interacting. Like, I think the little guy in the middle is looking quite nervous. This fellow over here, he's has some kind of scheme on his mind. And then this fellow in the middle, he looks pretty nervous. And I think this guy over here, I think he's the one in charge, and he's the one that's going to be making the most mischief. And if I were that little guy in the middle, I might be kind of nervous too. So really fun painting on a t-shirt by Laney. This is my cluttered work area where I've been working. And my cat, every time I come in here, every time I stop working and I leave this, I come back and I find my cat laying here. So I've been trying to get a picture of her. And here she is, my cat, laying next to the cat bag. This is a project in progress, as you can tell. This is Georgia the cat. She very seldom gets into any mischief, so I don't even get mad at her when I find her like this laying in the middle of my project. She's such a good kitty. So this is a large Tunisian crochet bag that has been hot water felted, and I have then added this needle felting of a pink tree and the outline of some cats. So next I'm going to try to add some detail to these 5 cats. I told the client that they would be the same color as her cats and they would look like cats, but that's all I could promise as to detail. So I think it's going well. They look rather cat-like so far, and I think Georgia the cat has been a good keeper of that. That's the heater coming on. That's why she looked up, and there's the noise in the background. So like I said, this is my workspace where I've been working on this bag, and as I walk away from it from time to time to take a break, every time I come back I find Georgia the cat taking care of it for me. So I have been trying to get a picture of her doing that. And like I said, although she seldom causes mischief, when I walk in here, of course, she jumps down, and hadn't let me take a picture of her up to now, but we got to enjoy her this morning. It is very, very early Saturday morning. I think about 4:30. But I did want to take time to spend a few minutes with you to acknowledge that this can be a joyful time for many, and it can be a difficult time for many. So, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Be kind. Be patient. Be here and now. See things as they are. Peace, love, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.